Ladies and gentlemen, episode number 4 of the Dummies Scouting Brief is here. It's in your ears. I don't know what else you could ask for. It is late on a Tuesday night, and we are ready to talk some players. Riley and Matt are back. Matt, what's going on? And have you rebounded from Penn State's fall from number 4?
Yes, because they could be back number 4 in a matter of 4 days if miracles happen.
It could be you're going to need miracles and you're going to need a new quarterback because rumor is he died.
There was possibly someone was going to murder him, but
I don't think that's happened.
Hey, this has happened before. Back in 2013.
I don't know, but all I know is that
Penn State, big underdog, and one Terrell Pryor was upset in Columbus by Penn State.
You guys miss Tommy Stevens, don't you?
Oh, no, he's bad.
Yeah, I like Tommy Stevens.
Yeah, as a tight end.
I liked him for what he could have been as a tight end. I was about to say it. Damn, he took it away from me.
Yeah, he's Nick Fitzgerald 2.0.
Ironically, same school.
I know that's why I said it.
Okay, well, let's get into the players tonight. We are bringing another running back and wide receiver duo. I don't really have anything else, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into my player first because I'm hosting and I do what I want. So, Mr. Zach Moss, running back from the Utah Utes, number 2. I had never seen him play in more than just highlights and stuff from SportsCenter. So, Matt, give us a little background, and then I'm going to dive into what I found on tape.
So, Zach Moss is listed at a very big 5'10", 222. He was a 3-star recruit coming out of high school. He was the 68th running back nationally and the 1,100th player ranked nationally.
So not a very highly touted recruit. He did commit to the University of Miami, decommitted after we talked about it before show. Al Golden. Golden was gone, so Moss was gone too. So he went to Utah.
Oh, yeah, and he's also the cousin of Santana Moss.
Bloodlines, first plus in the Zach Moss column. So when I turned on the tape, like I said before, I'd really never studied him. I really, really like what I saw out of Zach Moss. Just to start, he is not a thin player. He's very, very juicy and very, I wouldn't say chunky, but he's thick with like 3 C's. That thick. He has quick and nimble feet for a guy his size. I really liked his ability to get in and out of cuts quickly. Change of direction was very, very good. My favorite trait, that kind of deals with agility and moving and whatnot, his change of speeds behind the line of scrimmage I thought was phenomenal. Comparing it to like a Greg Maddux of baseball, he could alter his speeds and throw hitters off all the time. And Zach Moss does the same thing with linebackers. He's very patient. He has that quote unquote Le'Veon Bell patience where he likes to kind of sit back. He keeps his feet, in line. He keeps his hips and shoulders square, and then he's off. He's out of the cuts really, really quick. I loved that from him. He has an excellent jump cut that's just badass most of the time. Love it. Like I said, he was patient. I think he's an able receiver. I don't think it's a strong suit, but he did have a 20-plus catch season. So our boy Zach Reed, that's one of his nice little trends and notifiers of future PPR assets in dynasty leagues. So like I said, I saw a lot of positives, a couple negatives. He's not super fast. He's not going to outrun he's not going to outrun many defenders, many secondaries. He's quicker than fast, so he's not slow, but he's not a burner. And then I think his vision can be a little bit inconsistent when he gets to the second level. So I know Matt's giving me a look. I think he does a really good job of finding the first hole. Then I think he locks in once he gets past the D-line and gets to the linebackers. I think he needs to have that constant field scanning vision.
Fair enough.
So that's why I said second level vision is inconsistent. It's not bad. We've seen worse. He's no Kalen Ballage. But that's kind of what I have for Zach Moss. I really, really liked him. I think there's a lot of traits to work with. So Matt,
Yeah.
Give me some thoughts.
So I agree with a lot of things that you said. He does a really good some of the things that I liked about him that you didn't mention. I think he has good burst. He does a good job fighting through first contact. He rarely does he go down on first contact. I thought he did a pretty good job in pass protection as well too. I really like his spin move as well too, and he's got good contact balance as well too. He can take a hit and keep going. Um, he's got good leg turn as well too. Can move the pile. You'd expect that from a guy who's 225 pounds. Some things that I did not like about him was I felt like when moving laterally behind the line of scrimmage, he sometimes got caught up there a little bit. Some similar to Myles Gaskin from Washington last year. Not nearly as bad. Don't get me wrong. Not nearly as bad, but I'm saying that it happened from time to time. The speed thing, I thought he was okay. I probably would say he's probably a low 4.5 guy.
Agree. Not fast, not slow.
There was a couple runs of his that I had. I was like, wow, maybe he's quicker than I thought he was.
Okay, and let me stop you there. I just had a thought. What did Darrell Henderson run at the combine?
4.49.
I think he could be about, because I mean, Henderson had good burst, but we don't really think of him as a fast runner. I think they could be similar.
People thought he was going to be fast.
Well, especially when the wrong laser at the combine had him in the 4.3s.
Yeah.
Which, shout out to, I can't think of his name right now, the Steelers guy.
Oh yeah.
What's his name?
He's the guy who always does it.
Yeah, he's off every year. You would think in 2020 that we'd have technology, but anyways, I think he could have similar speed scores.
Yeah, I think
Darrell Henderson.
High 4.4s, low 4.5s, not out of the question. Especially because they're probably going to run a little bit faster with doing pads without pads on, just because they're not wearing any pads, and they've been training to run a 40 for the last 3 months. So maybe 2 months, but also thought there's times he needs to get north and south more than trying to go east and west. But those are just little nitpicky things. Like I said, I think he's a good back, but not sure he would be my top 5 as of right now.
Gotcha. Yeah. Ranks. I mean, I don't think I'm going to.
I don't have any ranks either, but just going off the little bit I've seen on each player, I don't think he's in my top 5. Is
that more because of his ability on the field, or is that because of some of the other players who we're going to have in this class, like Swift, Taylor, your boy Hubbard?
Yes, the answer is both.
Okay, both. So probably he could sneak up into the conversation, possibly.
I think he's probably going to end up in my top 10, but probably not. Definitely not in the top 5.
Okay, yeah, that's
unless
fair.
I'm very, very underwhelmed by these other guys, which I don't foresee happening.
Gotcha. Yeah, I guess I skipped over. I had very, very good balance. Love it. He runs through contact well. I mean, that combined with his ability, to be shifty for a 220 plus pound guy, that's appealing to me. Ultimately, I think he's going to end up in the 3rd round in the NFL draft. I mean, I think he's the whole package. I would like to see, more work in the pass game. I want to see more reps. I guess that I just didn't, find enough games to really showcase his 20-plus reception season. I want to see it more. That being said, I think it's there for sure, but I think he's a 3-down guy. Even though that's kind of evaporating in today's game, I think he can play a lot and have a very, very, major impact.
I have him as a 4th rounder, just because of the depth in the class, and I think you probably have him a little bit higher than I do. But 3rd, 4th, I don't think there's a big disparity between the 2 rounds. I mean,
agree, and I think one of the main reasons I had him in the 3rd was because of the guy who he reminds me of. I think he's going to be a lot like Kareem Hunt. I think he plays a lot like him. He's thick, he's strong, he's shifty. He can kind of do it all. Hunt had that really, really clean footwork, both behind and past the line of scrimmage. Hunt had a little bit better vision in the 2nd level, but Hunt could do it all. Strong, shifty. That's kind of where I got the Hunt comps.
I think you like his footwork behind the line of scrimmage more than I do. I think that's something that I think he can improve on, especially moving laterally.
I think it was more of him being patient and him changing speeds rather than
Sure. Totally agree with that.
because I don't think he's a lateral guy. He's definitely he's a little bowling ball, but he's a
Yeah.
shifty bowling ball.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's gonna get. I don't want to call him a straight line guy because he has the ability to make people miss. Like you said with the spin
definitely,
move and the jump cuts. I think he can do that. So that's why I think he's an all around guy, and I think he's going to be very, very productive.
I have him in the Devonta Freeman, Devin Singletary range. I think Singletary.
I don't hate that. Don't hate that either.
Because like I said, we said before the podcast started, I don't think he's 5'10". I think he's too squatty to be 5'10". But it doesn't matter. I don't care how tall my running back is. It doesn't really matter to me. If he's 5'8", 220, that's not really a big deal to me. I think the weight is more important than the height, obviously. If we're talking about just pure measurables.
Unless you're 6'3", 240, then I'm probably going to pass.
Then you're Derrick Henry.
Yep. You should be playing outside linebacker. But whatever. That's another podcast. So, I mean, assuming he goes in the third or fourth round, is it fair to say he's going to be probably a mid-second in rookie drafts?
Depending on where he's at in the third round. I mean, if he's a third round pick like Alexander Madison and he's behind Dalvin Cook, then he's going to be a third round pick versus a second round pick. But I definitely think he's in the second round conversation based upon if we're just talking about a talent perspective.
Sure. Yeah, and I mean, opportunity changes that. Every single year, the opportunity guys get thrusted up. The guys who land in tougher situations are going to fall, regardless of talent. And we see it every year.
And we've seen guys who land in good spots that we think are going to produce, and they do nothing, like Darwin Thompson. I mean, everyone was all over Darwin.
It's not over for Darwin.
It's not over, but it hasn't looked great thus far.
Yeah, I agree. I was on the Darwin train for a little while. I never really paid for him after the hype. I bought him in, fourth round, fifth rounds of rookie drafts. But I bought it. I bought into it. I thought he was going to be awesome.
I bought him in one place and sold him for a second, third, and fourth round pick.
I remember that. I still probably would have done that too. I would have taken the picks.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I really, really like Zach Moss. I think I told Matt before the show, I think he is going to be one of my guys this year that I'm going to pound the table for in rookie drafts. I really like him. I hope he lands in a good spot. And I'm excited for Zach Moss. Moving towards Mr. Matthews player, who we got this week?
We have the Liberty Flame, Antonio Gandy Golden, off of the newly crowned FBS Liberty Flames.
I didn't know that.
Yes, they are independent, FBS independent.
Same conference as Notre Dame.
Yes, and they're coached by Hugh Freeze.
Didn't know that either. Exactly. I always wondered what happened to Hugh.
Yeah, he's done with the hookers. He's now coaching at a Christian school.
Awesome. I'm glad he's turned it around.
So Mr. Gandy Golden comes in at 6'4", 220. So 220 is a popular number for our guys today. Mr. Gandy Golden, or we're going to call him AGG as they were calling him, as I'm sure you heard on some of the broadcasts.
I like that better.
Yeah, and the AGG. Yeah, AGG was a 2-star recruit and had approximately 0 FBS offers coming out of high school. So
tell me what you saw on tape.
So one of the things I'm going to preface by saying this is some of the tape on AGG is a little limited based upon his school.
Limited and poorly shot. Let me just say I had some trouble getting through.
Huh. That was the cut up, that was the cut up.
We appreciate the cut ups, but okay. I wasn't sure.
All right. Real 10-second diatribe one's a cut up. If you start don't start a play and then cut it off 3 seconds into it when he's not in the play. That was so annoying.
I think that's why I struggled with it.
Idaho State. It was the Idaho State game. It was so frustrating.
I was like, I want to finish. I want to finish the plays.
Yeah, and it was still 15 minutes long. The video was.
Maybe that's why, because it probably would have been a 30, 35-minute video.
Yeah. Then it would have been the whole game. Is this like back to the Alexander Madison thing where I didn't like him because he played on the blue field?
It's not that I didn't like him. It's just hard to watch. Because I gotta follow the blue jersey and the blue field. I hate it. Same with Cooper Cup in Eastern Washington. That
My
was tough
boys.
too. Even though I like Cup more than I like Madison,
My
I didn't
boys.
think he was gonna be this good.
No, neither did I. No one did.
Ugh.
Anyways,
Oh well. Back to AGG.
AGG. So obviously the guy is a monster on the outside, and I will say on the outside because that's all he's played. I have not seen him play a single slot in or a single snap in the slot. I liked his release. He had a good release. He uses his footwork in conjunction with his frame to be able to get some separation from the wide receivers when they're playing press coverage. The guy just knows how to high point the ball. Their quarterback, who has like the best name ever, Buckshot. I don't know if you heard that at all.
Buckshot Calvert, baby.
Buckshot Calvert. He would literally just throw it up to him. That's all he would do. He would just throw it up to him and hopefully that he would catch it. And 95% of the time, he caught it. He's a good run blocker as well too. I thought he ran a really good comeback route as well too. That's one of the things he did really well. He also Calvert and AGG had a nice rapport with the back shoulder fades as well too. He's going to be a big time red zone weapon with his size. Obviously, at 6'4". Does really well with double moves as well too, and he's really tough to tackle. I don't know if that was because of the competition he was playing in, but I mean there was times where he was just dragging guys 10, 15 yards, 20 yards downfield, and one time it was like he dragged two guys basically into the end zone in the Buffalo game. But I was just really impressed with his size. One of the things I'm a little concerned about him would be his we talked a little bit, his route tree could use a little work. And I'm interested to see what he actually runs. I'm not sure what he's going to run. I think he's going to probably be somewhere in the hairy range, probably in the mid 4.5s. But I think at that size, that's adequate for him. Separates moderately well, but he's not a burner.
Yeah, I think he's going to run a little bit slower than that. I could see him being a 4.6, mid 4.6s. But I mean, when you're 6'4", 220 and can high point the ball, and you're not really asked to run a 4.3 or a 4.4 even. So I'm not too worried about that. You highlighted on some of the good things. He had twitchy hips for a guy his size, which was very surprising. I thought he'd be very, very stiff in and out of breaks. He can really sink hips and stuff for a 6'4" guy. So I think he can separate enough. He can adequately separate in the short area of the field. I'd like to see a little more separation down the field, kind of the same thing with N'Keal Harry. But, like I said, when you're that size and you can go get it, it's not necessary. I would just like to see it more, so that's kind of nitpicking on my part. He catches the ball out in front of him a lot more, which I really, really liked. I love seeing guys go out and grab the ball, not letting it get into their bodies. I hate that. So it was really good to see AGG do that. High points in the red zone. A couple negatives I had, separating downfield, diversified route tree, and that was it. I don't think not a number one. I didn't love him. I didn't hate him. I just think he's going to have a very specified role. I think he's going to have a small number of packages he's going to be in, third and longs, red zones, which there's a place for. I'm just not getting it up for AGG right now. So, Matt, where do you think he's going to fall in the NFL draft?
I think he's a third-round pick.
Okay. Yeah, I had him late 4th, early 5th.
Okay.
So, we'll see. I just don't really see a year one window to produce. Maybe I'm a little down on him. Yeah. I think I'm a little down. I just don't see I don't see a bright future, but I think he's going to be on a roster.
I think you're concerned about his ceiling more than anything else, correct?
I think so. I think he has a floor. I don't want to say he has a high floor. I don't know. He's not going to be an elite asset. I don't think he's going to be a Golladay type where you get him in the 3rd round of rookie drafts and now he's a top 30, top 40 asset.
I think there's a chance with that. I honestly think there is. I think he can. I'm curious to see how his talent translates over to NFL talent. But I mean, he's played against some decent teams. I mean, one of the games he had was against Syracuse. I'm definitely going to check out the game he's playing next week against Virginia. Obviously, those aren't great teams, but they're still Power 5 teams nonetheless. And we want to see these guys who are going against smaller schools go against Power 5 competition. I will say this for being against a small school. I mean, I was way more impressed with him than I was with Ashton Dulin last year.
Yeah, agree. I mean, at least AGG is projectable to an extent, and I mean, he showed some good things, like good releases off the line. He's quick and twitchy for a dude that big.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, as an NFL receivers coach, you see that and you think you have something to work with here.
Yeah.
Which is good. I mean, I'm going to ask this because comps, get people's pants on.
Yeah. So my first thought was Mike Thomas light, because I think he could play a similar role to Thomas, where he could play in the slot and get a ton of targets in that medium range. But as we were talking, I think I may have moved him over to Mike Williams instead. And I think that probably fits more of his role in the NFL better. And that's exactly what you were talking about, as he's going to play second fiddle. He's going to have unique packages. But at the same time, Mike Williams is still an asset. I mean, I
loved Mike Williams.
I don't see a big difference between the two, and he doesn't have the injury history Mike Williams did.
True, and you know what? I thought Williams was a lot stiffer, which I think is a bad thing. I like my guys to be flexible and stuff. I mean, I struggled to come up with someone who I really said I think he can be this for this. I think he's has a skill set a lot like this player. He's in the same mold as that Jaleel Scott, but he's better than Jaleel Scott. Like,
I think he's way better than Jaleel
without
Scott.
A doubt. Jaleel Scott, if you remember what I said, runs like a giraffe in knee-high water.
Yeah, exactly.
I did not like Jaleel.
He doesn't run like that. I don't understand why your comp is like that if he doesn't play like him at all.
Because he's the big, tall guy who has a specific number of packages. And Scott was drafted in the
fifth round?
Fourth or fifth round?
Fifth round, I think.
Kind of the fifth, right? But, I mean, it was still shocked that he was taken in the fifth. But I think he's that same mold of a package receiver. I think he's going to
he's more than that, though. I think he's definitely more than a package
I think he could be, but I think he's going to be like a high-end wide receiver 3 for his NFL team.
I think he's a 2. I think he's a 2, and in the right scenario, he could be a 1. I think
could he be something like Tyrell Williams is right now?
Sure, but I mean, they're not the same player. But I get what you're saying. He's a default number 1 based upon the talent around him.
Right.
Sure,
that should have been a number 2. I mean, Tyrell wasn't repeated out.
I think he's more like when the Rams had Kenny Britt a couple years back when he was the number 1 guy there, but it's just because they had no one else there.
Like Brian Quick with all his teams he was on.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think, sadly, that's
like Preston Williams was this year.
Yeah, like I think Brian Quick, I mean, isn't a bad comp either, unfortunately.
I found it. It's been so long since I've seen Brian Quick play. I don't even.
But I think Brian Quick was a lot more. He's got the size, but he never really put it all together. But I mean, Gandy Golden's number 2 right now in yards in the entire FBS.
Yeah.
Brian Quick was not like that. Brian Quick was more of he was an FCS player who we thought maybe he's got the size, and that kind of is. I think Gandy Golden has showed a lot more than what Brian Quick did, and Brian Quick was a 2nd round pick. He was picked in the 30s.
That's high. Obviously, AGG's not going in the 30s.
I'm telling you, if he runs a 4.45, I don't think he's going to. If he runs a 4.45, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm saying it wouldn't happen, but I'm saying, but he's got the size that none of these other guys in this class that I've really watched have that big body size.
I think
there's one other guy that I can think of who I think they kind of play the similar game. That's Juwan Johnson. because Juwan Johnson got a lot of Michael Thomas comps a couple years ago when he was at Penn State.
Ayo, right here. I
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Juwan. I like Juwan early.
He's coming on this year too. He's coming on at Oregon. He was hurt at the beginning part of the year. So
now we just need Justin Shorter to really step it up. And
now I was going to say that actually is Antonio Gandy Golden is what I want Justin Shorter to be.
If we could just switch him. I loved Shorter's tape coming out of high school. Oh, he was so good. It could have been so good.
I don't know what his problem is, but he's
frustrating. I mean, some guys it just doesn't click. It just doesn't happen for some people, and that's okay.
I think 7 games this year, he's gotten the first target of the game and he catches it, and then that's the only thing he does all game. But in the Indiana game this past week, he just dropped it, and I think he had one other target the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think third round is AGG's ceiling when it comes to draft time for the NFL draft. When it comes to rookie drafts, I think it depends on day 2 or day 3, and situation. And quarterback. I think obviously quarterback's going to play a really big role in where we take him. But I mean, I'm assuming he's probably going to be a third rounder for you.
Yeah, I think he's a high third.
I had written 3.
Depending on where he's drafted, he could sneak into the second round, depending on landing spot, obviously. But I mean, you could say that of just about anyone.
Yeah, I wrote 309 because 310 felt too low, but single digits in the third felt fine. So that's why I put 309.
I think this is a guy we're going to disagree on in the process, which is good because we agree on a lot of things, and it's nice.
It's always good. Always good to have
someone who we have differing views on. I think this is probably one of the further guys we've been apart on.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't love it. I didn't have the feeling that I had when I watched Zach Moss. See, and we're switched on Zach Moss too.
It's just it's not that I didn't like Moss. It's just that I wasn't wowed.
See, I was wowed because I saw Kareem Hunt in a Toledo uniform.
I didn't see Kareem Hunt. I didn't see that.
A lesser Kareem Hunt because Hunt's a great talent. I mean, he's
a bonehead.
He's an idiot. Not as bad as Mark Walton.
Oh, yikes!
Walton's gone. Dude's never playing again.
He's never played the NFL ever again. Hey, but Tyreek Hill did the same thing. So, and he's
allegedly
paid.
I guess we'll see. I don't know. These dudes. After I trade for Mark Walton, I like how he does that. I know. You advised me not to, and I did it anyways. I was going out on a limb. Whatever. Was going for it. I needed running backs.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Still better than Kalen Ballage.
Anyone's better than Kalen Ballage.
Oh, by the way, there was a tweet that Russell Clay put out before the podcast that I didn't talk to you about. Kalen Ballage is on pace to have the worst rushing season in the history of any player who's had more than 50 carries. What is Kalen Ballage's current yards per carry?
Is it negative? It can't be negative.
It's not negative.
All right. I know Reggie Bush finished one of his last seasons in the negative yardage. I would say 1-7, 1-8.
1-9.
Oh, it's damn close.
1-9.
Oh, I mean,
yeah.
Good receiver out of the backfield. Bad runner between the
tackles. He had 9 carries for 9 yards last week.
He had a touchdown, though.
Yeah, and he still scored more points than Kareem Hunt. In standard scoring.
Ballage was one of the players I got right. I just didn't see it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have one of those podcasts because we're gonna talk with our bosses over at the Dynasty Dummies to have a podcast on a recap of the 2019 rookies because I can't wait to have my Darrell Henderson.
Victory lap. You know who you're talking to, right?
Oh yeah.
You know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Oh, Anderson is not okay. He's not bad. But he certainly ain't it, Bob.
No, he was not it. He was not it. Hey, not it yet. Not it yet.
Not to toot our own horns, because we have missed. Lord knows we love Bruce Anderson. That just didn't happen. It hasn't happened yet. Still young. We'll see. Especially with the Colts.
Yeah.
Colts
I'm just saying, hey, Jordan Wilkins doesn't play. They bumped Bruce up to the practice squad.
Hey, how about Jonathan Williams, though? He's breaking out for me like 3 years too late.
Yeah.
I liked him coming out of Arkansas. He and Alex Collins were a hell of a 1-2 punch.
Alex Collins just got unsuspended today.
Really? I didn't
Yeah.
even know his.
He's a free agent too.
Okay, I was gonna say surely the Ravens aren't still stashing him.
No, they're not. And don't call me Shirley.
Ah, Alex Collins. Anyways, hopefully Jonathan Williams has his final, huge day after I spend all my fab on him. We'll see. A lot of hopes and dreams this week. Maybe Williams will explode. Maybe Penn State will cover that 18-point spread. Regardless.
Nope. Money line win, baby. Let's go.
No.
Plus
No.
700.
Is it a lock?
No.
You're gonna
it's
lock
not
it
a
up?
lock.
Okay.
No.
You're gonna lock it up.
No.
My lock
not-
of the week: Tennessee plus 120 at Missouri. I think Tennessee pulls it out and become bowl eligible, despite their loss to Georgia State to begin the season. Anyway, there's your betting tips for the week. If you want to talk betting, if you want to talk players, hit Matt and myself up on Twitter. He is at Fat Mormon, of course, and I am at DTC_Riley B. You can follow the pod at Dummy Scout Brief because we are the Dummies Scouting Brief. I got it right. This has been episode 4. We will be back in 2 weeks with 2 new players. Till then, deuces.
Toodles.